for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 25 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Z2U, link in the description. Yo, so guys, I'm Fire here, back from the video, and today we're going to be hopping into another offensive scheme in Madden 25. Today we're going to be running the Single Bunch X Nasty. Now, Gun Bunch X Nasty is one of the better passing formations in the game, but this has been one of the better balanced run and pass formations in the game the last couple of years. It is going to be really good again this year. I'm going to show you guys the best way to do it. Now, we are going to be in the Los Angeles Rams offensive playbook. Now, in the Rams playbook, there is a ton of good under center stuff. I mean, deuce close, wing close, solid, wing flex close, bunch X nasty, bunch head in, tight Y off, flex, trips. A lot of cool, good stuff here in this playbook, and there's even some solid passing sets as well. You have a bunch offset. So I like this formation, and I like this playbook a lot. Let's go into the audibles, though, what I like. So wide zone weak is going to be probably my favorite run. It's like an off tackle. Then you have PA boot. You have a few other decent passing plays. The PA boot corner post, that plays solid as well. PA boot slide. PA Rams counter. PA cross is okay. PA post dig as well. So we have a lot here. And then verticals, of course. So the audibles that I have are, let's throw in, where is it? Let's go with just the PA boot. So we'll go wide zone weak, dive, verticals, PA boot. Some of the run plays I like as well. You have a counter Y, you have a crack toss, and then you have like a halfback slammer inside zone weak. But without further ado, we're going to start out in PA boot slide, and then we'll just kind of go through mixing in between the runs and the passes, trying to keep it a little bit balanced here. So with the PA boot slide, I like Noah Brown's route. So we're going to kind of try and use that. Now, of course, we can hot route him onto a regular post if we want, but this is just going to be our solid first setup. Streak RB, drag A. You could keep the play action, actually. I don't necessarily hate doing that. But you want to just kind of catch him, and I didn't move my camera, but you want to catch him in the middle of the field doing exactly that. So again, streak RB with A. You could drag him, you could put him on an in route, whatever. Now he is going to be offset, which is nice because you can block him if you need to, but also sometimes the routes, they get a little weird. So again, you want to hit him there. Sometimes he'll be more open with others. It depends on if you're getting pass interfered with, like Terry McLaurin is here. Now with Ertz, we can do a lot of different things, and this is where the creativity can really flow, because we could go ahead and motion him across. Maybe we put him on the streak here. We go with the drag, and then with X, I can throw him on maybe a regular corner route, like so. So we can mix it up that way. Even with Eckler. Depending on the hash mark, you could go flat, and maybe he goes to the other side. I do like having a six-man protection usually when I'm under center, just because the pass protection will usually be a lot tougher to hit. So then, again, you can hit Noah Brown on his route. Taking a look at the corner route. Now, as far as motioning over, you can't motion over Crowder. You could motion over Noah Brown to the left. But that is just an idea there for you guys. And again, obviously, like, let's say I'm a little bit further to the right here. If I want to block the tight end, then we can do that. We can block tight end. We can go flat. We could still go streak with him and maybe corner route. And then, or we could go backside post with RB. We could motion him over. We could go streak. So, I mean, there's a lot we could do here. And then, boom, we can hit Eckler out of the backfield. And we have just so much room over there. So we want to take advantage of that. And again, it depends on the hash mark on which way you want to put him. So those are some ideas out of this PA boot slide that I like. If you're trying to keep the C route, will it really get open? Not great. Some of the ways to maximize it would be maybe, let's go like curl flat over here and keep something like this little setup. Now again, I try and avoid some of these long breaking routes because you just generally will get pressured. Now I am on the highest difficulty, all Madden, so the sheds are going to be a little bit better than maybe if you're on all pro, but keep that in mind. So let's hop into some of the run plays now. We have the wide zone weak to start off. So we're going to do the wide zone weak. And this is interesting because a lot of times, depending on how the look is, it may just be better to go ahead and run it to this left side. I mean, kind of looking at the numbers, we have better numbers to the left there. So we're going to run it to the left. And it works very well to that side. Now, is it the weak side? It is a little bit, but you still have Terry McLaurin in the slot here, which is a very good position for blocking because he's usually going to be able to kick out, get that receiver, and it usually allows you to bounce that to the outside. Now, we don't have the most speed at the running back position, but we have enough. Some other ways we can obviously maximize that is motioning one of these guys over. It just depends on what you're facing, but this can be a good way to open things up as well. And you see, we're just going up against a standard nickel, and this is a cover 4 shell, cover 2 shell. So we have a lot of good stuff here. out of this. Now, let's say we want to run it to the right. Can it work to the right? It certainly can. Now, obviously, if you can get through that hole, you can. You're really either going to go outside or cut it back in. It just depends on what we're thinking. Like, obviously, if 76 is going to run up there, pick up his block, it's going to be ideal for the boys there. But also, one thing that I don't even hate doing is motioning this guy over, bringing that guy over to the other side, and then we can still actually run it to the right. And boom, our blocking is a lot better there. Even with the worst stick work on planet Earth, we pick up 7 or 8 yards. So sometimes, like, less is more is less. Now, motioning over Ertz wouldn't be a good idea because you see how nobody shadows him because the linebackers aren't going to shift. And if it's not like a dime-looking man coverage, then no one's going to go over there, and then your blocking is just going to be inherently worse. But that's an opportunity where if we want an extra blocker on the left to pick up a double team on a really good player, one of our offensive linemen is weak, we can motion Ertz over, and then we can actually run it. So now we have even better numbers to the left side. We run it. Now, again, sometimes the blocking is worse. So you really just want to find a run that's going to be good in this offense. So let's go into the dive. So with the dive, it's going to be similar. Now, yeah, you can flip the run to either side. It just depends. Obviously, our numbers are going to be kind of more left in this case, so I will usually prefer flipping it to the left. The handoff animation is going to be the same. This is something that had been an issue for a while. They finally did fix it. So, but obviously we can cut it to left. That time we kind of go through the middle. So it's really just picking and choosing. Let's say we keep it on the right. It's probably going to be more than okay. We still get the handoff. And then just kind of taking some things. Like, obviously, if the middle is more stacked, you're going to run the off tackle. If the middle is more closed off, then you're going to run, or if the outside is more closed off, you're going to run the dive. It just depends on the look you're seeing. Now, the dive had success, and again, probably your better bet would be run it left. If you want motioning Ertz, it's probably a better idea. You can also, I don't know if you can motion snap him. You can definitely motion snap the other player, but we get some good blocks there. Even, again, with the slower back, still getting enough success. I'm actually just going to go straight through all the runs here so we can kind of keep it constant, and then we'll move into some of the other passing plays a little bit later. So let's just replace our audibles with some of these other good runs that I liked, which was the counter, and I liked the crack toss. Now, we also do have the inside zone weak, which is just going to be a variation. I'll talk about it briefly. The halfback slam is going to be similar. It's just a different handoff animation. But let's come out in the crack toss. We'll start out in that. Sorry, I couldn't find the play. Alright, so crack toss, again, our numbers are going to be kind of to the left. What's unfortunate with this play is you can't flip it. So that's immediately going to be something that's weaker. It's going to force you to run it to the right. Now, this is a high risk, high reward play. I say this with a lot of tosses because the animation to pitch the ball is so slow. One of those guys can always get through, or like one of the D linemen doesn't get picked up, and they have enough time to actually tackle you before you get going. So it's definitely a high risk, high reward, or the corner doesn't get picked up. The blocking is just so finicky that it's really different. Now, sometimes with the toss, just ensure that that guy gets blocked is what you can do is just motion this guy out, kind of motion snap him. Now he's out, and now we have numbers. Now Zach Ertz is doing his cardio up the field instead of actually picking up a block. But you do see that it can work from that standpoint. So again, what I'm doing is I like motioning him out, snapping the ball like this. I mean, even then, your stats are going to matter, but decent run. I mix it in a few times a game. If you get the perfect look, it can be a good play, though. Next play is going to be the counter. This is going to be a good misdirection for sure. Again, having a good blocking tight end in this scheme is good. You would want someone like a George Kittle or a Rob Gronkowski, one of those guys that blocks, but is also good in the receiving game because obviously they're important. Now, when you're running the counter, it's going to be key that you don't hold the turbo, which is holding the right trigger. You're not going to want to hold the right trigger. Reason being is it's going to take a little slower for him to get through, so you don't want to sprint through, get tackled. You want to wait for him to get the block and then follow your blockers. So again, in that situation, you either really cut it upfield or you can kind of bounce it. Like, if we want to cut it up there, if Ertz got more of an inside seal, there would be a lot more space to do that. But that is a solid run. Now, Ertz is already kind of going over there. Let's say you motion him over. Is this a smart play? It's not really going to be, because then he kind of sprints through here and actually just runs to the opposite side. So that's not something you want to do. If you were going to motion someone over, again, what you could do is motion over Noah Brown, here. He's the guy you can motion snap as well, so like we can almost motion snap him in the middle and kind of lead blocks, and he also doesn't bring the corner over if we do that, but it just somehow makes the blocks better. Mix it in that way. Anyways, the last one is going to be the inside zone weak, which is going to be just a different handoff animation. I think it's a little bit worse because the blocks don't tend to tail to that side that you're handing it off, whereas in the wide zone they kind of do. Obviously with this we can flip it to the left or the right, but you know, Madden is weird, and some runs against some defenses will be better, so there's definitely a world out there where the inside zone could be better than the off tackle. Regardless, let's hop into our next passing play, which is going to be verticals. Now, verticals is going to be a very interesting play. We have a lot of things here that are different than the standard verticals. Now, obviously, these three routes are the same, but Terry McLaurin, he's going to be tighter than he would normally in a normal verticals play. And obviously, we're under center, so the running back is a little bit different. Now, what we could do is kind of try and use Terry McLaurin's route. Now, how would we do that? We could either motion, again, Ertz over, Noah Brown. I will usually motion Noah Brown over more in the passing game, so if we're trying to open up Terry McLaurin on his deep corner route, I like streak. RB, I don't love the spacing of the over route. If I wanted to go post, I think that would be a little bit better. We could even smart route it to get it a little bit deeper if we want, and then with Ertz, we could go drag, we could block Zach Ertz, and then we could throw Eckler on the little under route. So you have options for sure, and this is going to be a good setup. Obviously Eckler is wide open, but Scary Terry is going to be open. We didn't get the time there because our offensive line ratings are not great, although maybe the Washington Commanders have the best offense in football. Obviously kidding, but maybe I'm not. And obviously Scary Terry can get separation here. Now it depends on the coverage that you're facing, but that's a good route to use. And then, I mean, other than that, you can set up basic verticals plays like streak, drag, little under route. We could block Eck here with B. You can do a few different things with him. He's kind of in a weird spot. You could go like just curl route or whatever, but obviously, depending on the coverage, you could just hit him out there. More cover 3, cover 4 than cover 2, which is what we're in now, but you have the little basic route combo, high-low read, throw it to the guy that's open. One of those two will be open. So that's a route we could do. We could also try and go like, again, you can obviously go flat, streak, and maybe even, you could even set up something like this, like a little basic hitch post combo. I don't hate these little basic route combos. Now, hit him in the middle of the field. So there's definitely some things you can mix it up. If you want to create a nice little concept as well, we could go streak. We can motion Noah Brown across. Maybe I go flat. I block the tight end. I go slant here. Or I could even go backside flat. So something like this. You could obviously put RB on the post as well. It just depends on which route you like. Now again, when you're sending 5 out, you're going to need to get the ball out quickly. One thing I would practice is your pocket presence. You're going to need good pocket presence in this offense. But that's a good route combo. Let's hop into the PA boot. Now, PA boot, we have a stock zig route, which is going to be pretty valuable because, as you know, you can't just hot route zig routes this year unless you have the extra hot routes, I think. So I like using his route. It's a little bit of a weird combo with this McLaurin spacing here. Could you go a little post here? You could. And then you have Ertz over here. I kind of like being able to get the streak, but sometimes the spacing just doesn't make it. Obviously, kind of your first read is going to be Noah Brown here, and if you can hit this zig route, it's going to be very good against man coverage. It's going to be good against zone because the zones get so far upfield that by the time he actually, gets over on his route, it's sitting good. McLaurin, you could go like just baby curl. Even this combo is not going to be bad if you want to keep the play action, which a lot of times with the play action, you see he's open, we get a bad pass. A lot of times the play action actually helps your blocking, so I wouldn't throw away the play action every time. Sometimes people will run like play action online and it will genuinely fool me. Like I will genuinely fall for the play action. So I know it's fun to make fun of it, but it can actually be good. Hit the corner out over the top there. I mean, both routes really open. So that's a solid setup. Obviously, if you want to take it a step further, you could keep those guys over there. Maybe go Ertz on a backside post. We could even just hitch McLaurin over here. This setup would not be bad. This would be a pretty good red zone setup. Now, Zach Ertz, that's the problem that happens. It really depends on the defense you're facing if he's going to get bumped like that. Because the D-end is standing right over him. Like right here with the M. because he's standing there, he's like always getting bumped unless he's on like a little out route or something like that, flat route or underneath. It's super annoying, and it's my biggest pet peeve at the game right now, but that is something you could do as well. Obviously, if he runs that post, it's going to be sitting pretty. Now, let's hop into a few extra plays here. Now, which plays do I like? I like the Rams counter. We want to go with that one. And then I want to see the spacing on this drag wheel, actually. The other one would be, we have a little post route out of this play that we could use. Same with PA post dig. You have a cover 3 beater out of it, potentially. And then let's come out in the PA boot corner post. I just want to see kind of the spacing on that. We're kind of seeing, okay, I don't like that play, but let's see if we can hit a cover 3 beater out of here. Now, we don't have any speed really on the field with Noah Brown, and we're in cover 2. But I'm going to respot the ball. I'm going to rechange the coverage. We'll try that out just one time. If it doesn't work, then, hey, you guys don't have to worry about it. But I do want to try it out here. I already tried it out of PA cross against cover 3. It does not work. But let's try it real quick out of this PA post dig play. Obviously, they're both really the same, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to go max protection, see what we can get. And it does look like that play gets open. So you could run it out of PA post dig or the other one. I cannot remember what it's called off the top of my head, but that's a good way to run a cover 3 beater. Again, all I'm doing is smart routing B, streak RB, corner X. You already have the 7-man protection, which is good. Ertz is actually going to run over to the other side, which is ideal because we're going to be kind of sliding to the left. And Noah Brown is not fast by any stretch of the imagination, but he's even able to get enough separation there. So that is a good play. Obviously, if you want, you could throw Ertz on a drag or Eckler on a flat, but I like the 7-man protection. Anyways, here we have the PA drag wheel. This is going to have kind of a stock crosser. This route is a little bit interesting. Is it super throwable? I don't know necessarily. Could you get real basic with your setup? Like maybe, let's motion Noah over, we go streak, and then maybe just a little backside drag, whatever. I mean, some of these setups, they don't have to be complicated. Or it's on a little flat, or you throw Eckler on the flat. Just a really simple setup. You could go slant as well. Now, we get pass interfered with, which kind of happens on every play in this game, but that route would be decent. I don't love that play, though. Let's go with the PA Rams counter. Now, stock, we have Noah Brown on the corner route. We want to kind of use him. McLaurin, again, kind of on a weird route here. Could you go curl? You could. I like keeping the play action on this play, so maybe we just go backside post. Now, Crowder here is on a little weird route. I don't know what he runs. It's like a little stop out route. I don't love it. So usually I am going to hot route him onto something else. But if we want just a basic setup out of this play, we could go just like this. Then again, McLaurin on a post is not going to be a bad route. If it's man coverage, it gives you an option to throw it to. Now I am still in cover 3, so cover 2 would be, again, a little bit better. You can kind of hit it against cover 3. That's a setup I like. Let's try and get to the cover 2, though. My voice is kind of going here, fellas. Could you go bada bing? You could. And I love keeping the play action on this play, by the way. He really should have caught that pass. So that's a nice setup. We could go flat, streak, backside post, hitch. You could even flip these if Ertz is just getting bumped every play. Like little 2-man setup. I mean, Eckler is really open on every play out of these because he's so slow because he's coming from under center. So it's honestly better than the bunch and the gun ones. So that setup's good. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. If you guys did enjoy, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel down below. Let me know if you want to see more of these or in a gameplay, and peace. I'm out of here.